it's Elizabeth Sherry, Program Director for Twin Cities Wedding and Event Professionals, and I am here with two fabulous ladies. We are here to talk about our upcoming events and how we're going to get back to them safely for our clients and safely for ourselves. So this is the second installment of our Collab Lab, which is an education series that we have as an offshoot to our networking. It's always good to be able to network and connect, and we learn from each other. But now in these series, we want to have the honed-in experience that we need during this coronavirus era. So I have here today Michelle Tverberg of Delight Photography. Hi, Michelle.
Hello.
And then sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's just like good to be here. Good to see you guys. Really love to see your faces. Great.
Oh, thanks, Michelle. And then we also have Amy Rastetter with Amy Rachel Makeup Artistry. Good to see you.
Oh, so good to see you, ladies. I love this. I'm so excited.
Oh, it's great to just listen to experts like yourselves in your field, because me as a planner, I'm just like, what is it like doing makeup, or what is it like doing photography now that we can't touch people, or, it's just a different understanding, and it's really good as a planner to go in and understand, but also as other vendors. So I'm really excited to have this conversation with you ladies today. So first off, I'll start with Amy. How are you? How's your business doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. For people that don't know, I'm actually based out of Hudson, Wisconsin. So my life's been a little bit different than all of my Minnesota vendor friends, in the fact that back in mid-May, our Supreme Court pretty much opened the state up, basically said, hey, guess what? Overruling kind of everything that was going on. So we went from 0 to 100 very quickly without a ton of guidance. Whereas I feel like Minnesota, has really kind of taken their time in making sure that systems and things are really set in place and ready to go. But overall, my business has done well throughout this kind of whole thing, which I'm very, very grateful for. I'm grateful for all of my clients and all my supporters for that, kind of dealing with pivoting and all that. But I've been back doing weddings now for a few weeks, and it's been fantastic. So.
Great. Oh, good to hear. Yes, having weddings again. That's so important.
Right?
Oh, and Michelle, how are you? How's Delight Photography doing?
Oh, doing really good. As far as just taking some time, what I have found for myself, it definitely events have slowed down. But I have some coming up here in the fall, which are great. And my clients are excited for their events, and we're really, we're going to go forward with theirs, but there are more in the fall. So during this pause and during this time of, very quietness as far as Minnesota and events are concerned, it's been good for me to just take time to kind of learn some things, slow down, learn some more things that I would like, that I just didn't take time for before. And so that, just kind of looking for the positives as far as how I can better myself, better my skill, and just make things better for when we do come back into the events, getting some new tools under my belt as far as equipment goes and things like that. So I'm really gearing up and looking forward to this this new season as we come into it this fall as well.
It's so great to hear when vendors are taking a breath, because I feel like the best innovation comes from when we have those moments of reflection versus, weddings, you're kind of just treading water the whole time, because when it's wedding season, it's busy. Like, you don't stop. And then when it's not wedding season, it's booking season and you're busy. So you're just keeping up with the flow. So it's good to have that positive reflection, Michelle, like you said, on the season and reflection. So, well, great. Yeah. Well, it's so good to hear on how your guys' companies are doing. And I'm glad you guys are staying, I don't want to say that a word afloat, but you fear small businesses during this time of how they're going to be able to get through. So really excited to hear two entrepreneurs succeeding. So maybe we'll start with Michelle on this one. You kind of touched on this a little bit about the retooling, but is there anything that you want to just specifically spotlight and feel free to boast about yourself, Michelle. What are you proud of yourself for doing during this time, and boast away?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think the retooling, like kind of what I said, is just learning some new skills and really taking that time to refine and think about, for me, I'm actually kind of looking at couples that might be in their older couples or second marriages or different things like that quieter setting, and marketing more towards that. Still doing full weddings and that sort of thing too, but it's given me time to kind of look at what is my niche and what do I want my niche to be, what do I want that to look like. I also, in preparation for this, for our talk here today too, I did talk to some other TCWP photography members, which is an awesome asset that we have as far as being able to connect with each other and collaborate. And so I was able, I'm just going to name who I'm going to be talking about here a little bit today. I was Janine with Janine Marie Photography. She's an awesome gal, man. I learn a lot from her and watch her go. Love it. And Dolly with Near Me Perfect Selfie Photo Video. Got some great information from her. And then Kara also with Memories in Time Photography. What I saw her do, or what she's doing, is she actually took a leap of faith and has got a new shared photo space that she's doing. So, I mean, she's really taking a leap of faith during this time. So I'm like, you go, girl. So I've got some information from them. So it's just, I think it's going to be well-rounded as far as letting you know what photographers are dealing with during this COVID time.
Oh, great. Good. And Amy, how about you? I mean, what are you most proud of yourself for doing during the time where we didn't have much going on?
Yeah, anybody that knows me knows that I am a very type A personality. So this not having any control over anything that was happening those first few weeks, it was very difficult. But I kind of leaned into it the best I could. And I have such a great support system between friends and family. And honestly, the group in TCWEP too, friends that I've made there, we seriously did so much to just kind of very much emotionally support each other, which just meant a lot. But, it was all about getting creative and figuring out a different way to be able to reach out, and not even so much to keep my business busy, but just to reach out and connect with women or with whoever and be able to offer some fun to them, offer something where it's like, let's connect, let's play makeup, let's do something that brings a little joy into your day, and, so I started offering a lot of virtual opportunities. Zoom has been so great for that, to be able to do that, record sessions, and be able to, send them back to the client or customer. But virtual makeup lessons and makeovers. I even started offering different things in terms of brides too. So if a bride really wanted to learn how to do her makeup, I called it a virtual elopement package, where they couldn't maybe have a makeup artist come to them still based on what was happening. I could help them and teach them how to do their makeup virtually so they felt a little bit more confident that day. So those have been a few things that have really just brought a lot of joy, I think, to people. And it's definitely filled my cup being able to connect in that way. And it's also, I think, a comfort level. I think people get intimidated by makeup. So even, say when the situation is different than what it is today, people still really love the virtual option. So it's kind of opened up this great other door for women that maybe wouldn't have taken advantage of it in person in the past. So.
Yes. Oh, and Amy, I have to give you a thanks too, because I don't know if anybody else is feeling this, but I forgot how to do my makeup. I know it sounds so silly, but I didn't do my makeup for about 2 months plus. And so then I remember seeing your videos on social. Yeah. So I went back in my catalog of your videos and I was like, okay, let's use this one. And it's like, oh yeah, that's what I do with this brush. I know it's so silly, but it's amazing how fast you were like, I did this every day, but now I forgot. So yes, thank you for sharing your wisdom on that. And Amy, I'll have this next question go to you on, you mentioned you've done events. How are they looking different for you? I mean, how is it looking different for you? How's it looking different for your client?
Yeah, what's really interesting is I work in both states, so Wisconsin and Minnesota. Wisconsin, I always like to kind of refer to it as the wild, wild west a little bit when it comes to this stuff. And then in Minnesota, things are a little bit more clear cut that way. But, really the prep work for me is intensified quite a bit. Any really good makeup artist, hairstylist, especially that does event work, safety and sanitation is at the top of everything that you do. But with COVID, it's really, we've had to almost triple time what we're doing and the types of hospital grade disinfectants that we're using, and really going through kind of double time cleaning and everything, making sure everything's ready to go for the next customer or client. But the other thing is too, really is that it is the prep work. So it's prepping and making sure you have individual brush sets for each person, so you're not having to recycle anything. It's taking the time to make sure that you've got paper towels packed, because cloth towels could potentially carry the virus. So it's changing up kind of how you're using your kit and all of that throughout this whole thing. for my clients, my brides, my bridal party members, parents, they are awesome. They seriously, I think they get it. They know what's going on, and they're on top of things. They're paying attention to what's going on. They're paying attention to what guidelines are, and they have been so supportive with everything. And that's just made a huge difference, because everybody wants to communicate. Everybody wants to talk. Everybody wants to stay connected throughout this whole thing. I think it's brought another level of closeness between vendors and clients in that way too.
Oh, that's great to hear. I think the theme of collaboration is really what's coming through with vendors and with your clients, because it's an honest discussion you have to come from, it sounds like, right, Amy?
Very.
Yeah.
Yep, because this is what's happening. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is the situation, and we have to do what we can so that we can keep moving forward, but we do have to take those steps.
That's great to hear. And Michelle, I know you said you have a couple events coming up. So how are you preparing for the new normal of what photography is going to look like for you, and tips you can share to other photographers on that?
Oh, absolutely. I think a lot of us photographers are kind of going back through our bags and figuring out, because there's more stuff now that we want to carry. I mean, as far as the hand sanitizer and just extra items, the masks, and just having extra ones if we need them and that sort of thing. There's just, just extra items so we're going through our photography bags, and we're making sure that we're carrying and have it on us easily, comfortably, able to just, go through our event as we would like to freely move through. But we're also having a lot of conversations with our clients and with the vendors too, just to figure out what is their expectations and how can we cooperate, and just making sure that we're all going smoothly. I think the verbal cues are, just really rehearsing a little bit. For me, for me, it's going to be a little bit different because I'm more of a touching person and that sort of thing. So I've had to learn to quiet my hands a little bit, not go up and give the hug that I want to go give to that client and friends, and then just different things that are going. Everybody is experiencing it. But as far as photographers go, I think the verbal cues are what we're really looking at. We're also really building relationships with those that offer video services and live streaming services, because a lot of our clients are needing to have the event smaller, but they want to share it with their family and friends, and having the live streaming is an excellent option, as well as video as well. There's some of those older family members that they're wanting to have that moment and be able to share it with them in video as well. So I think we're seeing a lot stronger relationships coming through because of that, needing to connect with them and just work as a team, because we all want to give them the best event that can be during this time.
Yeah, it's great to see a little bit of a revival for video, and I'm going to use it as the same realm as you. Is that I think previously, if I understood correctly, is that people just thought they can get away with what they could with the phone. They're like, I could take video on my phone, or I'm going to have them do X, Y, Z with the videos and photos. And it's great to see them lean more on professionals, because that's what's needed to have people really experience their day.
Right.
It doesn't do the same justice when the people who are witnessing the event do it. Is that right?
Yeah. No. Oh, absolutely. I would say 100%, because nobody wants to watch that video that's loosely flying around and running around versus having it professionally done. Well, people get seasick. I do. I don't like watching them when they're like that. So to really have people, and you nailed it, Elizabeth, as far as having them experience your day and be able to just see what really happened, is having that professional videographer there doing it. And then actually they're capturing that sound as well, which I think is really important too. That sometimes gets missed when we try to just, video with our camera. Yay, we're getting a great picture, but sometimes we don't always capture that sound, which is, some of those moments you really want to hear, like when they're doing their vows and different things like that. So yeah, I think the videography is going to be very key with us photographers going forward, having those connections with them.
Oh, it's great to have those partnerships, and so smart of you guys to think ahead of like that, and knowing that that's something that you're going to need to do in tandem with each other. So, one thing I'm concerned about with my photographers, because I've seen them live, is you guys hustle. You are running. So I can barely wear my mask while going to the grocery store and walking up and down lanes. So how are you guys preparing yourselves as far as that type of equipment? Because you have to almost be working out, but with a mask on.
Right. Yes. No, it's, yes, I think all of us don't, well, I shouldn't say all of us, but most we wear them because out of necessary, just because it's necessary.
Yes.
And I think too, I mean, I've been looking around at different types of masks as far as, being able to breathe through them versus a really heavy cloth, which, it's real as far as like the type of mask that you have on, being able to get that air to go through there because you are moving around and hustling. And so staying in shape is great. I'm also looking at the type of mask and the cloth and that sort of thing and what I can breathe through. And then also just bringing extras as well, so you can change them out a little bit. And our bags we're just carrying a lot of stuff with us just to have it with us.
Yeah, it's so important. Yeah, you have to treat yourself well in all of this too, and be mindful of that. So that makes absolute sense. So
I think self-care as a vendor, it needs to be heightened big time, kind of moving forward through all of this so that we don't break down physically, because it is just so different for everybody now.
Well said. And Amy, as far as the self-care for you guys are on your feet for, 5, 6, 7 hours and staying hydrated, but then again, keeping safe. Any considerations or protocols you have there?
Well, in Minnesota, it's a little bit different in terms of kind of how we handle that. But in Minnesota, to do makeup, because my client can't be wearing a mask, obviously, when I'm putting makeup on them, we have to do a face mask and a face shield. So we're double time for that. And in Wisconsin, face mask is what I've been doing. But, I think it's just literally taking it one step at a time, and you're just always being very cautious. I'm always washing my hands in between each client too, as well as sanitizing multiple times throughout. You really just have to be mindful and pay attention as you're working now, because the work itself hasn't necessarily changed, but it's just how you are going about it is the biggest thing. And really too, for me, it's just trying to dress as cool as I possibly can. My hair is up. I usually have a headband on. I mean, I'm trying to keep myself cool here too, so that I can enjoy the experience still, with my clients, because it is fun, and it should be that getting ready morning should still be a blast regardless. And I know for myself and a lot of other makeup artists and stylists that I know, that's still our goal. It's like, even though we kind of have all these things happening, this should still be a really, really fun experience for everybody.
Sure. And I've worked with you before in a planning setting, and you've experienced that. My timelines in the morning are pretty stacked, because I don't think anybody really knows how fast or slow they're going to go depending on when clients arrive or not. But I'm curious, as a planner, should I consider a little bit more of a buffer time between each person to just make sure that everything is still running smoothly and safe? Because there's that extra time.
Absolutely. That's such a great question. And, and I think too, depending on who the hairstylist, the makeup artist is that you're working with that morning, they'll be able to give you a really good idea. But I would say even just tacking on 5 minutes in between each person really, really helps give us enough time to make sure we're putting the brushes away that we have used for one person. We're getting a brand new fresh brush set out. We have time to sanitize our chairs and all of our makeup. 5 minutes in between is really, really nice. And then time to just kind of wash our hands really quickly, because hopefully we're right by a bathroom. So, but yeah, we've all had to add just a little bit of extra time to just make allowances for all of that.
And Michelle, kind of similar question. I mean, should we be adapting our timeline a little bit too for more personal time for each vendor to run to the restroom, wash their hands? Because they're saying we should wash our hands about an hour or every hour.
Yes.
So what does that look like for you?
Oh, same. It's very similar to what she mentioned as far as, and when I talked with my other photographer friends too, they talked about that as well. As we're allowing more time. So whatever event that we normally would say it's going to be this amount of time for the photography part, that session that we're going to do, it's more planning, even pre-planning, knowing exactly where we're going to go, probably not as much as by the, just the fly. Sometimes us photographers will take that and just kind of go and run with ideas and different things that can happen at the moment. But I think there's going to be a little bit more pre-planning done, knowing, where we can be washing our hands, where the restrooms are located, if that's, and as for us, but also for the bridal party too, and just taking a little bit more breaks, I think, in between pictures versus just going and just keeping it going. I think we're going to be definitely, a little bit more break time so that we can be keeping things as safe as possible. We want everybody to be as safe as possible, and we want everybody to also enjoy the experience as well. So, but definitely, I think we're going to need to allow time for pretty much every piece of the event.
I've seen,
go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry.
No.
I was going to say, I've seen a ton of photographers posting more and more about scouting. If it's a location that they have not shot before for a wedding, that they're going there prior in the week and figuring out where they want to do stuff to exactly what you were saying, Michelle.
Yeah. And I do that. I do that anyways, but I know that it's going to be even more so. You know, there's just going to be a lot more thought, because usually I'll go ahead of time and I will figure out, you know, typically where I want it to be, but I also used to allow a lot of freedom too along the way. But I just know that pre-scouting time, exactly what you said, we're going to be figuring that out and having a better laid plan with just more time and more thought put into exactly what we're wanting to capture in that time frame, and just being mindful of everything as well. So yeah.
Great. And this is actually my last question for you guys. And, 2020 has been a year of challenges and reflection, and it's going to live with us. So I know you two entrepreneurs are really forward thinking and about your businesses. So I'm kind of curious, what do you think you're going to adapt for 5 years down the line here to make it still safe? I mean, we hope the virus isn't around, but what things might you guys have in place? So I'll start with you, Michelle, about how this is going to impact you 5 years down the line, if you can just put your little fortune teller hat on for a little bit.
Right. Well, obviously, yes, we all hope that this COVID thing will, will simmer down, and that it won't be at the forefront of everything. Hopefully that, in 5 years, I pray that will be what we are experiencing. I mean, all of us in the event industry, myself included, I mean, we want to see events, not necessarily go back. I think we're all realizing it's going to be a new normal, and what that exactly looks like. But I think actually I'm looking to be better for it. I'm looking to improve my skills and have taken this time, kind of a blessing in disguise, to, just better myself, better what I want to do, what I'm giving to these events, and what I want to give my clients. Their end result has always been, to have them more than satisfied with the event and how it went and the pictures that they get. So that's still going to carry that same theme, but I think I want to be better for it going forward, and just hone in on my skills and give them the best experience that they possibly can. And I think all event industry people, we're still wanting to carry that same thing. We want to give them that experience that they wanted to have, because it's a special day for them, and all of us are just wanting to make ourselves better for it.
Absolutely. And Amy, same question to you. What are you thinking about for 5 years down the line? And again, with that fortune teller hat on.
Yeah, well, I can't, Michelle, you nailed it. I mean, it's true. I mean, it's really, really true. I think in the makeup side of the industry, same. I mean, this has been a great time to just sort of reflect and think about, I think, also why we do this. And why we're involved in the events industry, and almost kind of reaffirming that for yourself. And that's definitely happened so much for me. But I think in 5 years, it's exactly what Michelle was saying. I mean, we hope to see things continue to happen, events happen, weddings happen, gatherings still be able to take place, but that our involvement and what we bring to the table can be even more special for our clients, and that we're able to really, enhance it as best we can. And not, what I've learned too is not to get caught up in the rush, even though it's busy season and it's a booked calendar. It's taking a deep breath, taking one thing at a time, and really making sure that you're giving that client the attention and the time that they truly, truly deserve. And I see nothing but growth and opportunity over the course of the next 5 years. I don't know where that could take me, but I'm excited about it. My business is still relatively young. It's not even 5 years old yet. And so for me, it's like, all I see is there's so many exciting things in different directions that things can take. And I'm really, really honestly looking forward to seeing what happens the rest of this year even. So.
Oh, it's great to just hear this positive conversation here, just in the futuristic thinking. So I'm really excited about what you both have coming for your businesses. And it's just been a great conversation today. So thank you so much for taking the time. We thank all of you who have listened here to our Collab Lab. I'm going to let our panelists here say goodbye to you all, and any last tips that you can share with anybody. I'd be excited to hear it. So Michelle, any last tips or things you want to say?
Oh, just keep going for it. I mean, I think things are going to improve. They're going to get better. And just connect with people. There's so many people in the event industry that are welcoming and wanting to connect with you and help you improve your business and just come alongside you. So just don't be afraid to just kind of get in there and make some new connections.
Great. Thank you. And Amy?
I agree. Networking has been such a huge thing kind of throughout this time. But people are so open. They are so happy and ready and willing to talk and swap stories. And I think just support each other. And again, hang in there. I really, truly think good times are starting to return, and they'll be back. And so try and stay as positive as you can. Find one thing to be really happy about every day.
Oh, great advice.
Love it.
Great advice. Well, thank you both so much. And again, thank you all for tuning in to our Collab Lab number 2 in the series of getting back to the new normal of weddings here in the Twin Cities. Thank you again for everyone. And we are excited to have number 3 coming up soon with Matt Sherry and Jenna Colley. So we're excited to have a conversation with them. Thank you so much to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.